This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and today we've got Kevin with us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here, Gianna. It's a pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. Excited to get to know you. We've got a few technical errors. Kevin's a little slow, but it sounds like the audio is doing fine.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it sounds great too.
I realize what I just said. Kevin's a little slow, but we're still.
That's great. That's a compliment of all compliments. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, this is a charity.
I'll just smile. I just smile and roll with it. It's all good. I've been called. How about this? I've been called worse.
Okay, fair enough. Off to a great start here. Kevin, tell us about your background. Who are you? Where are you from? How'd you get into real estate?
Sure. Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I've been in real estate for 20 years, like almost to really about 30 days ago. I got into real estate around 2002. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so second largest city in the state of Michigan. And I got into real estate because I am no longer looking to be in criminal justice law enforcement. My background was going right into that right out of college, and had a brief stint into that career path and realized that is not for me. So got into sales and quickly decided that I wanted to do something that I could really perform at a high level at. And I found real estate to be the natural path for me, and been at it ever since. So 20 years, that's a long time to be doing something, but I find that I finally found my place. I'm a happy husband and proud father of 3 beautiful children, and am loving what I do.
I love that. And Kevin, how were you introduced to EXP as your brokerage?
It wasn't once, it wasn't twice, it wasn't 3 times. It was more like 7, I think. So right around the turn of 2017, I had left a big box brokerage after being there for 14 years, and got my broker's license and went independent in 2017. And that was really that was my path. I didn't see that changing anytime ever, really. And I was introduced to EXP right around that time, as many of us can probably share a similar story. For me, it was interesting. I would say I put in that category. I was interested, but I wasn't committed. And then I heard it again from someone else, and then again, and probably I would say somewhere between 7 and 10 of conversations, or at least introductions. I finally just slowed down for a minute and took a look at the model and said, hey, wait a minute, there's something in it here. I should probably pay a little bit of attention. And as soon as I did, that was it. I switched my entire team over in 2020, October, and we've never looked back.
That's awesome. And Kevin, now that you're over here, you brought the whole gang, you knew it was the right fit for you guys. What is something that surprised you that maybe now you really enjoy about EXP, or didn't expect at first, that you utilize often, or is a, favorite thing of EXP of yours that makes you not want to leave?
That's a really good question. I would say that the one thing that stands out, it would be difficult to know this in advance. And I knew a lot of things about EXP, of course, revenue share and stock and training and technology. What I didn't know, which was really an unintended positive benefit, is the network of agents. World class. The opportunity to share and collaborate and network. Actually, you can't even put a number on it. It's really interesting to me to find how many people are collaborating and sharing best practices. It probably is the number one thing that we can gravitate towards in the ultimate manner of the mastermind group at the largest level. Think about a global mastermind group, the same mastermind that Napoleon Hill spoke about in this book, Think and Grow Rich, but on a global scale. Meaning, if someone calls me from another country and says, "Hey, Kev, I just joined EXP. Can you tell me a little bit more about your listing strategy, or what's working with this, or what's working with that, or how do I build this out?" I'm an open book. I really am, regardless of of brokerage affiliation, but if you happen to be a part of this awesome brokerage, I'm going to share even more. So probably that. It's been
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it all fosters to the morale and the culture of EXP that's really unlike any other. And Kevin, before we dive into the Icon Award, because that's, what you're here for, let's talk about you. How do you balance work life with the fam and friends and, drop boundaries and not mix work and play, or at least have a healthy balance of it all?
Yeah, it might be a little bit challenging to never mix work with play. I think it's a little bit different how I look at it as well. I actually like to work. I really do. I don't like to sit. I don't sit idle very long. I might have a hard time slowing down and taking it easy. I sit down, then I pop right back up, and I'm on to something else. So I do enjoy the work. At the same time, there are times when you need to be focused and with your family. I've created boundaries around that. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm okay with saying no. Just as much as I'm okay with saying yes. So when I'm working, I'm working. And when I'm off, I'm off. And there are some times when that's crossing over. We're negotiating an offer. I'm still in production. So this is still going on. I don't work with buyers. I work exclusively with sellers. So there's the one piece of the equation that allows me to have a more leveraged business than someone who's working directly with buyers.
Sure.
And at the same time, it doesn't mean that I can completely shut things down. So I have a good, healthy sense about what is a good balance, and sometimes I go to extremes, and then I come right back. It's finding myself back to the middle. My family is very understanding. My wife is probably my biggest fan, and she understands the deal. She knows what we signed up for 20 years ago, and she's been in my corner ever since. And that really does help, and that helps with the whole family. But I'm telling you what, when I'm with them and I'm with my family and my friends, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to stop a conversation short just to pick up the phone and work on a deal. So I'm aware of it. It took me a long time to come around to that point, but I think I'm in a good spot with that.
Sure. No, that's great, because most people just kind of laugh at it or ask what that is. But to say that you're in a good spot is an incredible accomplishment. So don't just brush that off, Kevin. That's great. And, when it comes to the Icon Award in your market, tell the listeners what market you're in, what the average home price is out there, and about how many houses do you have to sell to hit your cap? Because it's $16,000 cap, then 20 transactions after.
Right. Sure. So average sale price here, just think about right around the $300,000 mark. Grand Rapids, Michigan, as I started off by sharing with you where I am. So average sale price right around 300,000. Really you can cap around, I would say, anywhere between 10 and 12 units, depending on where you're landing with price point. Was there another question in there? I think that's
so just the price point and how many houses you have to sell on average to hit that cap.
Yeah, about 12 units.
Okay.
And average price point, say between 275, 325,000, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then, beyond production, there is that cultural commitment part, which fosters a lot to the community morale experience with EXP. So what is your cultural commitment? How do you fulfill that requirement?
Yeah, so I had an opportunity to I got my first, where is it? Here? Is it here? It's here. Okay, so there's my first one. I just see my second one is somewhere down here. You can't see it. But for the first year, I did EXP trainings, icon presentations in EXP World. And I feel like there were 5 or 6 of them. And it's an opportunity to choose something that is, that I feel strongly about or have a skill set around and train on that. And I chose one particular topic and I did it 5, I don't remember what it was. I think it was 5 times maybe in EXP World, and agents from around the world show up and learn. And it's, again, here's this sharing, collaborating piece I shared with you a few minutes ago. So that's it.
Okay, awesome. And then for the last part of my question regarding the Icon Award, it's got to be, what's your favorite part? So you already pointed out that big glass shiny trophy that you win. You also get the opportunity to earn the cap back in stock, right? The opportunity to be paid in stock to go to EXPCon and shareholders, an opportunity to give back to the community at EXP, great reputation, easy to catch referrals as an Icon agent. So what's your favorite part? Why does Iconing stay on your list of goals every year?
Well, that's a good question. For me, there's something to taking something that you're doing every day and doing it the best you can. And so it's a wonderful icing on the cake. What you asked me a question earlier, what's a what's an unintended consequence of EXP, or what's something that you didn't know before that you really appreciate now. I would say that's another piece of it, is that performing at a level that allows me to teach others and help them do what I'm doing is very, extremely fulfilling. So I would say that that's a big part of it. Would I still hit these numbers if it wasn't for Icon? I think it's an added benefit. It keeps me focused in achieving that, and then knowing that it's going to allow me to pass it forward, or reach out a hand and help another agent come up and do the same. That's a big part of it.
Absolutely. Okay, great. And, like you said, it's being able to, give back to EXP, because it's been a culture that has, really helped you increase production and thrive. And so being able to give back is an incredible aspect of the culture here. And Kevin, speaking of, giving into your peers, or giving back to your peers around EXP, if somebody just joined EXP, either they're a rookie or they've been in the game for a while, what's the possibility look like for them to Icon the first year, if that's on their list of goals? Some things to maybe talk on is some big mistakes to avoid, or goals to set for every day to help them get to that production. Just what's some advice you have for those aspiring to Icon in their first year with EXP?
Okay, so that's a great question, by the way.
Thank you.
I would answer this question to others asking me a slightly different question, because really it's going to come down to the same answer. Is I find that many agents in and outside of different brokerages, they fail to set goals, period. And so it's impossible to hit a target that we do not have. So first and foremost, whether it's hitting Icon your first year or even more than that, it's not a super challenge. The number itself is not a big challenge to cap. It's only 10 to 12 units. So, but beyond that, if one wants to hit Icon status, they first and foremost have to understand what that target is, what the unit count is that's going to get them there. But I think more important than that, is to attach something meaningful to having that. What is the reason for doing so? Because if it's just to get the number, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah.
If it's just to, and believe it or not, it's not even the money, it's what the money will do for us. Financial freedom, or what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to give it to? What experiences can you give your family? How can you pay it forward? All these other things are the bigger, meaningful reasons that actually allow us to take action, even when we do not feel like it. And so that's the biggest piece. Set a goal. Know if it is Icon in your first year, super duper. What is that number? And then reverse engineer it, and then figure out a way to take action every single day, despite how you feel about that. Because we're going to wake up sometimes and we're just not going to feel like doing it, right?
Right.
So I would say that's it. That's the one place that I see where folks are falling apart, is they don't set the goal, they don't attach a big enough meaning to it, and then they're not willing to do the things that winners are willing to do, which is sometimes things that we don't feel like doing.
Right. Sorry, I love that. I'm going to quote you on that for our social media that we're trying to build here. That's awesome. So, Kevin, as I am approaching a couple of my last questions here, the first part of the last question is going to be, were you ever skeptical of EXP when it was first introduced to you?
That's gosh darn it. Your questions are really good. I would say.
Sorry, I don't mean to catch you off guard.
Yeah, no, it's not off guard. It's just as me going back in time and thinking about this. Was I skeptical? I would say maybe in the very beginning, but I would say it wasn't so much skepticism as it was a failure of understanding. And so I just didn't get it. I wasn't seeing something that I think others were seeing. And maybe in a small way, that didn't feel too good. Maybe introspectively, I was thinking, wait a minute, this is so great. This person here is thriving here. This person's here. I'm not sure I get it. Maybe I haven't evolved enough as a business owner, you see? So I think that's where I was with it. And so once I slowed down enough and really once I analyzed this model through the lens of a business owner and as a business opportunity, as something that provides for financial freedom for real estate professionals for the first time in the history of real estate, who wouldn't want that? and getting outside of the box that says I only earn income this one way, which many people do, most agents do, 99% of you. So once I got through my own paradigms, I was able to see it for what it really is. So I'm not sure it was skepticism, but probably just a lack of information, or I'm okay with saying it, ignorance around the model, not taking the time to slow down and figure it out. By the way, it didn't take me much to slow down, probably an hour of my life to be here, to be accomplishing this, to be around all these amazing people. It's worth it.
Absolutely. And then, speaking on that topic, it's a great transition to the next question, which is going to be, for somebody that, like you said, you didn't have enough information or maybe the wrong information. So for somebody that's looking for that, final cue to move over, they see the greener grass, but they hear the things that, that EXP is a pyramid scheme, it's a cult, this, that, and the other. So obviously they're misinformed, and they're watching this and they're looking to you, Kevin, to kind of give them that last bit of fire under their butt to make that switch and get over here. So what kind of advice would you have to offer to those watching in that position?
My mentor is the late Bob Proctor. So I had a unique opportunity to coach under Bob and to become a consultant under his coaching program. He just passed away this last year in February.
I'm sorry.
And so well, hey, the world is impacted by his passing, and yet his lessons still go on. And one thing that he taught, and if you go and research it, you'll find that this is the message he's sharing, is that we have these things called paradigms. They're essentially thought habits that are lodged in our subconscious. They keep us from thinking differently. So they keep us boxed in. So think about it that way. And so what he shared was, and I continue to share with my coaching clients, is that anytime an idea comes our way that runs counter to the paradigm, the thought habit in their subconscious, we tend to reject the idea, regardless of its validity or factual basis, because the paradigm says it just ain't so. And so that's a problem. And so how do we then, and actually because the paradigm controls our perception, our effectiveness, our use of time, all of that. So if it controls our perception, the way that I perceive an opportunity is going to be different than someone else.
Right.
And so the individual that has a paradigm that suggests that I go to work every day, the only way I can earn money forever is by doing the thing, never through leverage or through an investment vehicle. It's always going to be by working, like sweat on my brow. That's a paradigm, and they don't understand how money flows. If you could just open your mind just for a minute and realize that there are other ways. Just because we don't understand it doesn't mean it's not valid. Just because we don't understand it doesn't mean it's not working. Mm-hmm. And so just be open-minded for a minute if one truly does value the idea of financial freedom and building something that'll last long after they sell their last home, which is not going to happen in a traditional model. So everybody wants financial freedom. Everybody.
Right.
Every agent gets in this business for freedom and autonomy, those two things. How are we going to get that? Where is that going to happen? Freedom from what? From not from our clients, right? And time and money freedom is what we're going after. But when we're in traditional real estate, forever and ever, amen, we're always going to be tied to the working piece if we want to have the income. So this is finally a chance to have it both ways, earn commission and have passive income.
I love that. It's so well said. Earn commission, have passive income, have a supportive community around you, a mentor, a sponsor, you name it, you got it at EXP. If you guys have any questions, reach out to Kevin. Everybody here is happy to field questions, and do your due diligence in researching your brokerage, because it's important. And that's where you're going to set up camp and call home, and you're going to want to have the support that EXP has to offer.
Absolutely.
Well, Kevin, do you have anything left for the listeners? We're coming up on 20 minutes here. I think it's been an awesome episode.
Thank you. No, I think I'm good. I think I've shared everything I want to. It's really just a matter of being open-minded. We can never actually, Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if we want something to change, we have to change. And the first thing we have to change is the real estate between our ears, our mindset, and being open-minded to a new idea and realizing that's how this world is evolving. And just take a look at it. Spend an hour of your life, just really focus on it and slow down for a minute. Take a look at the model. It might not be for you, but it might be for somebody else, or it might be for you later on down the line. That's it.
Awesome. Awesome advice, Kevin. Are you going to be at EXPCon?
I sure will. Of course I will.
Awesome. Well,
Yes.
yeah, hello. I don't know. Some people are like, oh, I'm having a baby. Oh, my
Yeah.
niece is getting married. And I'm like, okay, excuses. Cool.
Right.
Well, I
Right.
will plan on seeing you there, Kevin.
We'll see you then.
Sorry I called you slow. I think you're a really sharp guy. And I'll see you in Vegas, okay?
We'll see you then. Thanks, John.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.